Hello, everybody, and thank you very much for joining me for another Westworld review. Today I will be talking about Season 1, Episode 6, The Adversary, and as always, there will be episode spoilers. And first off, all I want to say is, wow, this was probably the best episode to date, in my opinion. There were a lot of interesting things that happened, and the episode was very well paced from beginning to end. So basically, in my opinion, there were two main plots to this episode and also a few subplots which could become more important down the road. So I will talk about the subplots first. We got a couple Men in Black and Teddy scenes. They're still on a quest to find Wyatt. Basically, they get sidetracked when they have to take a detour. They get into a fight. They get captured. And then they escape with Teddy basically wiping out all the enemies. And even the man in Black, seems impressed by this. These were entertaining scenes. Kind of a holdover for this plot line, but that's fine because everything else progressed so much. We also got some more scenes with Lee, the guy that creates the scenarios tonight. It was nice to see more of this character. He's been one of the more underused characters, but he's entertaining enough. First off, he gets in a fight with Teresa. He doesn't like what she's been doing, getting rid of some of his stories, but she tells him that he's useful and he'll be needed down the line, basically. Teresa had kind of a strange episode tonight. We're also introduced through him to a character named Charlotte, who Lee takes an interest in. And then he finds out later in the episode that she is a director of administration for the entire place. So then basically the main parts of this episode were two plots. The first being the Elsie Bernard sabotage plot. They're basically still trying to figure out who's been messing around with the host and trying to get more information. Elsie thinks she can figure this out and also wants to use it to her advantage. It seems like she's after Teresa's job specifically, while Bernard decides he's not really getting anywhere, so he goes directly to Sector 17, which is where he thinks the source of the issue comes from. And he finds out something unexpected, and so do we, the viewer. It turns out there's some unregistered hosts living there. And surprise, surprise, Dr. Ford is also there. Sir Anthony Hopkins himself. We learn that it is his family that is there, the hosts that are there, which is a bit creepy the way he interacts with them. And Dr. Ford basically says that Arnold created them and they're first generation hosts. And it seems like he basically keeps them around for sentimental reasons. Although I have to say, I'm still not sure of Dr. Ford's true motives. The show is doing a very good job of keeping them hidden, and Sir Anthony Hopkins is excelling in the role. As a matter of fact, all the acting was top-notch in this episode, in my opinion. So basically, Bernard and Teresa break up early on in the episode, but Bernard goes back to her, and he's getting ready to warn her that Dr. Ford is up to something on a professional level when Elsie calls him and tells him not to, basically, because Teresa may possibly be involved with the sabotage, or she's just doing some other things she shouldn't really be doing. So Bernard decides against telling her, but at this point, as Elsie seems to be getting close to more information on someone else who's also changing the hosts in a way they're not supposed to, she basically gets grabbed from behind, and we're not really sure what happens to her. So a nice setup for next week. It was also nice to see the character of Elsie developed a little more, and it will be interesting to see what happened to her in the future. The other main plot in this episode, and the one that compelled me the most, although I have to say this whole episode was really good, was Maeve and Lutz. They're definitely growing a stronger connection. You can tell Lutz genuinely cares what happens to her, so much so that he basically tells Maeve that she is a host. She's not really sure of this at first, so Lutz proves it to her. He basically lets her walk through all the rooms where the hosts are created, worked on, however you want to say it. This whole scene has a great score to it as Maeve walks through all these rooms. You can't really help but feel bad for her, and an excellent performance by Thandie Newton as well. And this scene climaxes basically with Maeve seeing a video promoting Westworld. Just the way this whole scene was handled on a visual style with great music. I thought it was excellent all the way around. So basically things seem to be going okay till Sylvester comes in, walks in on Maeve and Lutz, and he basically threatens Lutz and tells him he's going to report him for some of the things he's been doing. But Maeve basically kind of attacks Sylvester and threatens him, and she scares him pretty good, so now Lutz is on board. Basically, Maeve's goals are she learns how the system works, how she's programmed, and she wants to change some of her statistics, which I thought was kind of amusing and kind of fun. and kind of funny. We learned that some of them have already been altered, which is consistent with what Elsie found out in the episode. So I liked how those two plot lines came together. And the episode ends with Maeve once again changing some of her stats, and we'll see how that affects her in the future. Overall, this was another really, really good episode. I'm still waiting for that one big thing to happen to really bring everything to a climax. But overall, this was an excellent episode, and I give The Adversary a 4.5 out of 5. Definitely an excellent episode, and I still feel like the show is building up to something really great, and I can hardly wait for the next episode next week. So a 4.5 out of 5 for The Adversary. And as always, thank you very much for watching.